If you're a law firm, you know that search marketing is important, but I also know that you've probably invested in it before in the past and it hasn't worked out. I know that because I audit dozens of law firm websites every single week. I see the strategies that these agencies are using, and frankly, they just don't work. And as an agency and an SEO consultant myself, I don't want to blame them because I get it. It's a lot of work to do these different services and to actually get results in a brutally competitive space like yours. But if you, as an agency or a contractor or whoever's doing your search marketing, isn't constantly in tune with what Google wants to do and what they want to rank, and if they're not paying attention to user behavior and what's happening, then you're always going to fail if you hire an agency. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about the blended search strategy and how it's the right approach and really the only approach if your law firm wants to have success generating leads with search marketing right now in 2024 and beyond. So let's start by looking at a sample search result for the keyword Miami divorce attorney. And keep in mind that any query that you use in whatever legal practice that you follow, whether that's employment, whether that's business, whether that's tax, whether that's injury, whether that's family, all the above, they're going to trigger very, very similar search results because behind your query is what's called a localized intent. If you take your keyword like divorce attorney and just search for it where you are, you're going to see that Google's automatically going to localize those results because inherently Google knows that the intent behind that search is that somebody wants to find a local attorney, number one. Number two, they have to because you're probably only barred to work in that state, right? So the first thing that you're going to see are these Google screened sponsored ads. These are called Google Local Service Ads, AKA LSAs for short. Now, this is a newer placement from Google. They launched this in the past couple of years. They did this because pay-per-click ads, which is the next result down, which are the traditional AdWords run ads for search engines. They launched these because AdWords are very complicated. And if you want to run AdWords, you need to have an expert who does it for you versus LSAs. They're very simple to set up. They wanted to democratize the ad platform because, hey, they're a publicly traded company. The more ads that they sell, the more money that they make. And they wanted to make it extremely easy for everybody to have access to search engine ads, specifically local and small businesses. So this platform, Local Service Ads, it's different than Google AdWords. So when you hear pay-per-click or Google AdWords, Local Service Ads runs through a completely different platform that you have to go in and set up. Now, the good thing about it is they're very easy to set up. We actually do these for our clients for free if they sign up for any other service because they just don't take a ton of work. There's some nuances to get them to actually deliver and work, but in terms of setting them up and optimizing them, it's pretty straightforward. All you need to do is create a profile, get reviews, set up your picture, set up all your information on there, and you just basically start bidding on these ads. And the way that they work is they're pay per result. So anytime somebody calls you, you're gonna pay Google for that phone call. It's usually between $75 and $150, depending on which practice area you focus on. Now, keep in mind, these ads, because they sit at the very, very top of search engines, are usually going to drive a lot of errant phone calls because it's the first thing people see. They see a big phone number button. 90% of people using Google are on mobile phones too. They see it, they call, and they're going to probably have a lot of questions. So you're going to get a lot of quote unquote tire kickers from here. But when you look at the entire lifecycle acquisition from what it costs to generate a phone call, but more importantly, what it costs to generate a client, you should be profitable on this if your intake is on point, again, depending on which practice area you're focused. So those are Google Local Service Ads. We recommend that everybody does these. Number two, again, these are going to be the traditional Google pay-per-click ads. These, you don't pay per lead, you pay per click. And there's actually data that you can look up that will show you all the different keyword searches that you would want to bid on, right? Miami divorce attorney, child custody support, et cetera, et cetera. They have an associated cost per click. That cost per click is dictated by the market. It's an open real estate bidding system. The more advertisers there are bidding on those keywords, the more it costs. So that's why in this space, you see some of these costs per clicks running up into the hundreds of dollars. That's just for a click. Keep in mind, 2 out of every 10 people convert from click to lead. So you might be paying a couple $1,000s in some instances just to get a conversation through pay-per-click ads. Now, the benefit of pay-per-click ads versus LSAs is that pay-per-click ads, you can control them at the keyword level, meaning you have much more control over how and what these ads are showing up for. LSAs, it's category based. Whatever category you select your profile with, divorce, tax, employment, whatever that is, you're going to show up for a range of keywords. You don't have as much control over that. Google's going to dictate those for you. Now, with local service ads, you can actually debate You can call Google and say, hey, this was a spam lead or a bad phone call, and they'll sometimes give your money back. But with pay-per-click ads, the beauty of these is that one, you can bid on anything in any market across the country for any keyword that you want, unlike local service ads. And what you can do with pay-per-click ads is over time, you set up what are called negative keyword lists. These negative keyword lists are going to ensure that your ads are only going to show up for keywords that are profitable. And this is critical. The reason why so many of you have burned money on pay-per-click ads and not gotten results really comes down to this. One, you're bidding on very broad keywords, like going after the keyword divorce attorney. If you're a divorce attorney, believe it or not, isn't going to convert the best for you. You want to find the nuances in the long tail search that have a better intent behind somebody who's just beginning their search, right? If somebody's searching for Miami divorce attorney, they could, be fighting with their spouse and just want more information, or they could be, looking to hire an attorney. But there's other keywords that you can dig into that you need to research and test that are going to drive much more ready to buy phone call leads from these types of ads. And the ones that don't do that, you set on a negative keyword list so that you never show up for those again. But it's really, really important with pay-per-click ads that you have full lifecycle tracking. That means you're running these to a custom landing page. That custom landing page is tracking all the actions on there, and it's attached to a CRM or a customer relationship management platform. That is a sales platform that every time you get a lead in, it shows their contact information and it shows the stage in the pipeline for which they're in. If you win that deal, then you market one and we send that back to the AdWords platform, and it informs Google who your target client really is. So over time, these ads improve and they inform each other. A lot of reasons why you struggle with this is you get the bill every month, you're like, oh wow, this is a lot, we're not making money. It's because it takes 60, 90, sometimes upwards of 120 days to really get the full life cycle of these ads, really informing what you should be bidding on, and then also your cash collection cycles on top of that, depending on what you do. So the next placement that we see here is the local maps pack. This is an organic placement. Sometimes you'll see a little ad pop in here, but for the most part, this is going to be an organic listing. This is tied to your Google Business Profile, plus some other things that happen on your website as well, but mainly your Google Business Profile, which means you need reviews, you need to have an optimized profile, you need to have local signals pointing to those profiles that show Google that you are active, you're popular, and that you really deserve to show up in this placement, because this, of all the placements in Google, is the most powerful one. 50% of the phone calls that we get for our clients come from this Maps pack. It is by far and away the best placement in all of marketing. If you're an attorney, it's going to drive the best leads. Finally, down here, we have the organic search listings. Now, you can already see that there's 4 placements within search: local service ads, pay-per-click ads, maps, and traditional results. But even within these traditional results, what you're going to see is that this is fractured, right? The first one that we see here is an actual divorce attorney. But then we get these people also ask questions. These are pulling from content on your website. So when we talk about creating blog content, this is one of the best placements that you're going to get. You can show up here for different questions that people might ask during the divorce process, right? But then you see Super Lawyers. Super Lawyers isn't an attorney website, it's an aggregator website. So on a lot of these results, you're going to see Avo, Super Lawyers, Expertise, FindLaw. These are all platforms, kind of like Google, they're search platforms for attorneys, where you should be present there. You should have a profile there, you should be getting reviews there, you should be active there, because if Google's ranking Super Lawyers on the first page for a keyword that they charge $200 per click for, you can believe that Google likes Super Lawyers. And that means that Google is feeding this page, this Miami divorce attorneys page on Super Lawyers, it's feeding it free traffic, right? So if you rank in Super Lawyers organically, you're essentially ranking in Google, you're jumping up to the second result here in Google for this very valuable keyword. The next thing that we see is this discussions and forums. So this is coming from Reddit. Google loves third-party UGC, aka user-generated content. Why? Because it's unbiased advice. If you think about it as a consumer, if you search for this and all you get is attorney websites, it's kind of biased, right? You have to do your own research, more research on top of that, to really decide who you want to work with, because their information is just going to be filled with branded stuff. It's not going to be the best information. But something like good divorce attorney, legal help for friend in Miami area, right? Seeking recommendations for an affordable family attorney in Miami. That is unbiased. That's an online referral, right? When we talk about getting referrals for your law firm, you're getting it through people, through past clients, great. This also happens online too. People are posting, they're seeking advice from peers, not from other attorneys, from people who have been through it, and they want recommendations. So getting active on these platforms is another thing that you're going to want to do. You can see all the work that's starting to pile up here. Justia, Forbes is on this list. Forbes, this is a PR article. Somebody wrote an article about the best divorce attorneys in Miami, and it's now ranking on the first page for this query. Why aren't you featured on there? You're not featured on there because you didn't contact, you didn't do your PR, you didn't do your outreach to get featured on this. And then we've just got more results down here. So, and then at the bottom, we have more ads, which you don't want to show up here. You want to make sure that you're bidding on the top. So let's just go through this one more time to recap this, because you can see all the different things that are happening in search. So if you hire an agency, they're like, yeah, we're doing SEO. All they're really doing is trying to optimize you to show up down here at the bottom of the page, and you're fighting against Superlawyers, Forbes, Reddit. You're fighting against all these other platforms that are cannibalizing that real estate. It's really, really hard for you to show up and get visibility. So I always liken this to like playing roulette, right? If you go to play at a roulette table, what do the novices do? They say, oh, I'm gonna put all my money on black and just let it ride. So you lose your money. You're taking a gamble, it's a risk. Professionals who know what they're doing, who make money playing roulette, they spread their chips across the table, right? And that's exactly what you need to be doing inside of search engines right now, because there is no debate that search engines are the most powerful way for law firms to generate leads. I have worked in this space for 10 years. I've serviced hundreds of clients. I have a podcast where I interview only 8-figure attorneys, and every single one of them tells me that search is critical, the #1 source of leads for their law firm. You have to be here. There's no way around it. And I know you're frustrated. If you worked with bad agencies, you've gotten bad advice, you spent a lot of money. But the fact is that you just did it wrong and they did it wrong. And ultimately they might have done it, but you are responsible for who you hire. You need to do your research to understand that they have the right strategy. This video is all that you need, because this is the approach that you need to take. Instead of pushing all your chips onto black, you should be pushing some onto LSAs. You should be doing your research at keyword levels for pay-per-click ads and saying, okay, if I'm in the divorce space, these child custody keywords are a little bit too expensive, but maybe I can push them on the divorce for men's side, right? I can push $1,000 a month just going after those keywords to see if they can drive some profitable phone calls and leads for me. So I'll put some chips there as well. You have to do local SEO. And the thing is here is that you have to have a local verified office location in order to rank here in this maps pack. And little scaling tactic is that commercial office space is cheap right now. You can go across your state and you can drop a pin in all sorts of different markets, and you can show up all across your state without actually having to be there. And ranking in this maps pack is going to pick you up an additional 25 to 100 phone calls per month, depending on the volume in each market that you're at. So local SEO is critical. This is actually the main focus of our client campaigns, is getting them ranked in this maps pack, because this alone is going to drive the most business results. And then of course the traditional SEO results too. We want to create content. We want to optimize the website to rank here, because even though there's less real estate, you still want to show up there if possible. And then we also, what we'll do for our clients is we're making sure that we're creating all their profiles on Superlawyer. We have a list of, we call them aggregator websites that show up in Google searches. Expertise, Avo, Superlawyers, Fine Law. We create your profiles, we optimize them, we get reviews there, because again, if you can show up here on top of these results, then you're basically getting free traffic. And what we'll also do too is we're saying, okay, this Superlawyers page is ranking really well, it's getting a lot of traffic. Why don't we spend a little money on advertising inside of Superlawyers to get you to the top of the page, just like Roberta is. Roberta right here is getting tons of free traffic from Google by paying to be sponsored in Superlawyers, right? There's a lot of stuff that's happening here that's really, really important that you need to be making sure that you're paying attention to and understanding what's happening at the search engine level. And then of course, you should have a Reddit profile. You should be commenting on these posts. It takes 2 seconds to go and to find these Reddit threads, to find these core threads and go in and comment on these, right? You can do it as a third party. You can have a friend do it so it doesn't come off like it's branded, and just, say, if somebody's looking for good recommendations or good how to find blah, blah, you can come in there and post on it, right? And you can leave a link to your website in there too to see if it gets approved. Just the same thing, Forbes. Now this is PR, right? So what we do for our clients here too is we identify websites like this, and we say, let me just click on this and show you. We'll find the author. This guy, Brett, here is the author. We have software that will allow us to find his email. If not, what we'll do is we'll just find him online. We'll find him online and we'll send him an email. And we'll say, hey, Brett, I see that you write about the legal industry. We've got a bunch of legal clients. We'd love to work with you. Is there anything that we can do? Do you need quotes? Do you need expertise available? Talk to me. Let's see if we can do business together, right? So we'll send those pitches on behalf of our clients to get featured everywhere across here. And what happens here again is that sometimes in a lot of views, you don't necessarily need thousands of leads. Sometimes you just need 10, 20, 15, 30. This is a sustainable way to do that, because if one falls off, right? If your ads all costs all of a sudden go up, or if your organic rankings all of a sudden fall, you've got footholds in other places inside of search that's still going to produce fruit for you while you build that back up. So this is the approach. This is the blended search approach. If you were an attorney in 2024, 2025, this is the only strategy that you need to be following. This is where a large majority of your budget should be going. You can spend on billboards, bus benches, all you want. Take that, do that, fine. But if you don't have this done first, you're always going to struggle, because this is point of interest. People are going to Google and typing in, this is exactly what I need. I need to hire a divorce attorney. I'm losing custody of my child. How do I keep my business while going through a divorce? If you are showing up there, you're gonna get that lead and you're gonna have the at-bat, the opportunity. That's all that you can ask for, is that you're not gonna close deals from Google, but it's gonna give you an at-bat. It's gonna give you an opportunity, and that opportunity you should take with it and run with it. And the point is that the more places that you're showing up here, the better opportunities and more opportunities that you're gonna get. So if you need help with your search marketing, if you want us to install this blended search approach inside of your law firm, everything that I just talked about, hit the link below. I will do a free analysis on your website, on your market, and your competitors, and show you exactly what you need to do to be hyper present in the search engines. You will start crushing it if you can do this strategy. Trust me, I promise you, we do this for dozens of lawyers and they get a ton of results with it. So if you're interested, hit the link below. If not, I'll see you in the next video.